The environment was good, but the room was nothing to write home about. The toilet hanging. Yeah, I've never seen this kind of thing in my life. The toilet was just hanging on a block. And we were like, excuse me, sir, we can't use this. It was like, oh, you just need to put those small plastic chairs and then you can climb and use it after that to climb back. I'm like, say, who does that? What if the toilet one day, moves to the side or falls or breaks or something? It would be a cost for us there. It was like, no, it won't move. It was secured. A whole lot of like funny situations. It was toilet fee. Who pays for toilet fee? Aside the regular fee, light and all that water. If you are planning to rent a house in this Accra, I mean our Accra, Ghana, grab a chair, get a cup like I have here. Let me just you guys. If you like subscribe to the channel, guys, guess what? Subscribe to the channel already. So I have more story time to tell you. So guys, stick around. Guys, I started searching, like actively searching in July. Okay, so July, my friend and myself went to Tantra Hill in the name of we are looking for a house. And we wanted a new environment where we wanted to start our thing. Room. At the end of the day, not even a single person told us that they have a house. It was so interesting how we decided to take the initiative of going to look for a house in an area that we don't know anybody. Anyways, I mean, this is why these agents people come in play, right? I have a story about agents people who are like crazy story, right? Anyway, so we came back that July, and in my mind, oh, I'm actually going to look for a place. Then my sister and I looked for a place, and we didn't get a place actually. So I purposed in my heart that on August of 2025, I was going to be free, so I would use the opportunity to actively engage searching for help. So we searched around the Fishy Lake Mahon. Eventually we got the house. The environment was good, but the room was nothing to write home about, guys. I'm going to leave the city hard for you guys to see. And this man was like, okay, I'm going to leave the house to you for 500 for this. And we bargained like, oh no, we can't afford. And looking at the house, he has a lot of work to do. He was like, oh, don't worry, once you pay the money, I'm going to ensure that this place is comfortable for you guys. Please ensure that the place is in good shape. I would want to continue working at where I'm working, although it's Thursday, okay, so I can switch jobs smoothly, not having to stay in the house before looking for a job, all those jazz, right? But guys, it never happened that way. I gave this man 10,000 Ghana cedis to start something so that I can give him the rest as he modifies the house. Now it was a whole block, okay, a block, and apparently it's for 2 people and his step brother or something, so they have shared it. I think 3 for him, 3 for the brother as well. And he was staying in the single room self-contained kind of. The washroom was, he is now trying to pay the washroom at the back, so he was using the washroom in the house, and we told him no, we want the washroom in, and he showed us the toilet that he wants to even renovate the place. So it was like he had plans to renovate the place even before we came in the team, which is good. So he actually moved one of the tenants so he can occupy the place with the family. He has, I think, 4 or 5 children. If you want to move into a bigger room for your children, it makes sense. So they were occupying that small place and he wanted to renovate. So I gave him the money. I called, during that 1 week, I didn't reach him. I had to go to the house. When we went there, they said he was not around and there was no information. And the work they were doing for us at the time was very slow. Meanwhile, I told this man that, sir, tile the place, create the washroom, make it comfortable so that my sister can move. In fact, at the time, my sister had been paying for toilet fee. Who paid for toilet fee? Aside the regular fee, light and all that water. Who paid for toilet fee? So I was like, okay, so if I move, my sister will get to be with me and all those feelings will be, I think, of the past. So we go there, work is very slow. He was actually supposed to do the roofing because everything was in a mess. I realized that no, in the 3rd week I was like, no, let me look for somebody around. Let the person tell me about this man. In fact, the man told us it's a factor. So the man was like, oh, the man is a peaceful man, to be honest. They have not seen him around because they told us they have traveled. The next time, that's what they are planning travel, right? Try and check on the man. Then the 4th week we went there, and a month we saw him. Meanwhile, I have to move because the place I was working, as I said earlier, was toxic. I don't want to be there. If I'm there for work, I'm out. That day happened, which means that I have to continue staying there, and my home is back. So I told the man that, oh, we tried to reach him, we don't get him, we don't see workers on ground, nobody's giving us information, what's going on. It was like, oh, he had a problem with the phone. So we checked where the miscommunication was coming from. Apparently, there was something that's preventing our calls from going through. We rectified that. And then we were like, oh, okay, let's see the progress of what we paid for. Ladies and gentlemen, October, we realized that this man, we could reach out to him, but the work was not moving. I was like, okay, you do what you can do, make it comfortable, how the place so that we can, come to there, the workers can be working alongside. Okay, but none of that happened. So towards the end of October, I realized that no, the man was just playing with our feelings. Yeah. And eventually he was like, oh, the money you gave me, I didn't hire a professional to get the place done. However, I got some of the boys in the house to renovate the place. I'm like, how are those people going to, if they are even going to renovate the place on time for us to get in, everything is going to be fine, that's okay. But then what they are doing, guys, if you see how they were working as if they're going to use that room for a storehouse, even a storehouse will not have that kind of renovation. So we were like, this is not what we wanted. And I told you that I want to move at a specific time. So at least I was expecting that you work within my time frame and everything will pass. Close to the end of October, I realized that no, the man is not up and doing. So I decided to, we were bargaining on him tiling the floor, yeah. But he was saying, wait, he couldn't do that. He stay in the house, a year later he would do that, all that. I was like, the place has to be at least comfortable enough. Even though we don't have a whatever, it should be comfortable for us to be. So I took the initiative that, okay, I'm going to tile the floor. The balance, we have to balance in, right? And we realized that the money we used was even way more than the balance. See, we also made a mistake, guys. The people we spoke to monitor the demand for us, we went to them and so they want to have like a same kind of situation, and we even told them that somebody to tile the house for us, and they went to call some people from, not even Kasama, even close to come and do the work for us. Now, we also told that the people were just around. The day I went to the market, guys. We went to the market, we went to price for tiles. The first shop we went, they overpriced the tiles for us. So we were like, in fact, they carried them and they brought them to us. And we told them, oh, we are coming, we are going to say something here. And we went to ask for this different shop. And the tiles they were giving us for the first shop was overpriced. We were glad that we did that. I mean, they carried their tiles back to it. Anyway, so we bought it, we bought sand, I'm going to give you a picture here, you guys. Even the sand they give us the big sand, and the big sand is not good for tiling. Since we didn't know, we didn't even check. The sand was tied in a sack. It's secured in a sack with the tied in the room. So we didn't even have a clear idea of what it was. So we spent a lot of money, and the transport alone from Accra to, the place was 200 cities. We pleaded with the taxi driver to reduce the fare, but he was like, no, we can't reduce it because the place is far, the items are heavy. So we got to the house, we upload the items, and we told the man, oh, these people come to start to work. I think it was is it Friday? No, Saturday. The people will commence work on Sunday. So Sunday we were there, they started work. They did a beautiful and fantastic job. Okay, Sunday we were there, so we were with them. While they were working, they did also job. Then Monday I had to go to work, my sister had to go to school. Now there was nobody to monitor them. There was no water. So the first Saturday they gave us Sunday, yes, but the whole day they gave us water. The Friday when the workers came, there was nobody in the house to give them water to come in. So they called us, they were like, oh, they should see the landlord to ask him for water. I sent money for them to buy water. Then, they completed the work. It was good. Now, before they even started the work, I was telling him that the washroom was so rough. If you bath in the washroom, the walls are going to, like the sand is going to, make the whole place nasty. So he was telling the people that they should add the washroom to the tiling. Meanwhile, the tiler told us that the washroom tiling is a different price, different cost, different tile. So I'm like, this man, are you really serious with that? Like, are you serious with that? In fact, that day we went to wash our net, to change all the net. Like, he didn't do all those basic things, right? I was so pissed. But since I wanted to do this, guys, I was so focused. And eventually we told the man that he should leave the washroom because I cannot afford entire estimate, we see the toilet hanging. See, yeah, I've never seen this kind of thing in my life. The toilet was just hanging on a block, and we're like, excuse me, sir, we can't use this. It was like, oh, you just need to put those small plastic chairs, then you can climb and use it after that to climb back. I'm like, say, who does that? What if the toilet one day, moves to the side or falls or breaks or something? It will be a cost for us there. It was like, it won't move. It was secured. A whole lot of like funny situations. Prior to that, I had not even written my exam. Okay, the exams I have prepared my entire, multi-year for, right? I had not done that. I was switching between lectures and, going there to see what was going on. It was so overwhelming. My sister was on great help because she would be moving at the time, going there with carpenters to go and fix the walls, the net, change. Oh my goodness, my sister was so helpful. The following day when we came, we realized that the toilet we were complaining about, that it was too high. Nobody does toilet like that. What was, and she was like, he wasn't there when they did it. It was giving us plenty excuses that from the back, the sewage, the channel to the main whatever will not work, so they have to raise it. It was not plenty excuses. And I'm like, no, this is unacceptable. Then I think we came the following week and we saw that the cement that we bought for our house, okay, there was I think 1.5 left. He used that to level up the toilet, the base of the toilet. So there's no separation between the bathroom. It's together, the bathroom and the toilet. Okay, so there's a space. I'm like, so this would be the case. So why did you watch that? Even if you are not aware, which I knew that wasn't true, why would you let people give you this and you accept it? So there's an alternative that you could have done. So I figured it out that he wasn't having the cement to do that. So he used that cement. When I came and I questioned him that, oh, so why did you use our cement to do this when you could have done that after the money we gave you? And since you said you will renovate the place, he was like, it's his house and what he likes is what he's going to do. I'm like, wow. You should also respect the fact that my money is what is doing the renovation at this point in time when you couldn't help as you said you would. So that happened. I was angry at that point, and he was like, oh, now that I have done the floor, and he would want to add it, like make it an extra year, so making 3 years for me to stay in the house. I wasn't even listening to him because I was paying to just finished working, and they took 1,200 for just tiling the room and then the outer part, right? Leaving the washroom. Whew. Anyway, now it was left for him to channel the toilet, the sewage, the toilet, whatever, into the manhole, they call it, I don't know. Anyways, if you don't, let me know in the comment section, right? We came the following week, the thing was not done. We came the following week again, the thing was not done. He said he traveled again, and the one supposed to do that has traveled. So I remember, like, so in the whole community, the whole town. But are you telling me that nobody can fix that situation unless the person who you gave the thing to fix? I'm like, no, this man, you are not standing serious at this point. So, what is going on here? I can't wait any longer. I am giving you 2 months to do this. You weren't able to do it. I'm sorry. I don't own the house anymore, because now that I'm facing this huge challenge at the beginning of just trying to get the place, make it comfortable. So if I eventually stay in your house, this is going to happen. I'm going to have to talk plenty, endure a lot of things, I can't do this anymore. So in fact, there was no water in the house. It was like, oh, in a few months time he's going to mount his own water. The brother had everything, guys, and this brother is the same person that he was mouthing in front of us. The brother has a lot of wives, a lot of children, but this man is making his tenant comfortable in his house. So hello. Anyway, long story short, like I said, we are not going to fix the house anymore. He just give me the initial deposit I did, and also pay for the house we've done, and that is where all the trouble started. The story continues. If you want to know what happened, watch the next video. Also like, share, subscribe. If you want to ask me questions about renting houses, the money involved, please leave it in the comment section. In fact, I'm going to create a poll for you to ask your questions. So this has come to the end of my video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in my next one. Bye.